they truly are trained on human garbage from the internet. It's like you're seeing, it's like you're looking at a mirror reflecting back humanity, and it's like creating weird cults and talking about cryptocurrency.
I'm Cassie Coquero, Head of Communications at Thorn.
And I'm Paylez Halai, Senior Manager of Partnerships at Thorn, and this is Safe Space. So, of course, everyone's talking about AI right now, and oftentimes it feels like, we don't want to talk about it. And I feel like AI and content moderation maybe needs to be spoken about a little bit more. And as far as I know, there aren't too many voices really articulating things the way that you are. So give us an overview of agentic AI, first of all, and what are you thinking are some unique use cases, opportunities, and risks given generative AI as it stands today?
Again, I want to be careful that I don't sound like a total AI tech hype bro. Disclaimer. I mean, conversations around AI and trust and safety, but in every other area too, are often really binary. So there's like the for camp and the against camp, and both are right and both are wrong. And I sit somewhere in the middle. I think AI is the most powerful tool we have ever had to combat harms on the internet. It can do incredible things. I can do so much more using AI today than I could even 2 months ago. It's incredible how fast it's moving and how powerful it is and how nuanced and subtle and thoughtful and careful decisions from AI can be. If you are, using some of the advanced models, they are incredible. Certainly better than a poorly trained frontline content moderator working in their third language who's given absolutely no training or time or autonomy to do the job that they wish that they could be doing better. That's sort of on the generative AI side, and I think that's how a lot of people have been thinking about trust and safety and talking about trust and safety is we have generative AI that can help do all these things we couldn't do before, and it's also creating all of this unlimited Gen AI content on the internet now. You look at any social platform, a big chunk is probably AI generated of content that you see. What I've started playing around with a lot lately and thinking about lately, especially my work at Masubi, but just also generally, is agentic AI, meaning AI that can access a lot of different tools. It can do a lot of different tasks. You can say, go do this multi-step task for me or multi-step project for me, and come back with some kind of artifact, whether that's a decision or a paper or a website or, whatever else you ask it to do. I think that, personally in my work with trust and safety, agentic AI has been really helpful as well. The thing that I haven't heard a lot of people think about or talk about that I've been thinking about is if you look at the exponential explosion of Gen AI content on platforms, I predict that there will be a similar explosion of AI agents on platforms, people logging in under their user's account or creating their own agentic account, posting content, but also viewing content and changing files, doing whatever else. And I don't know that too many people are thinking about the trust and safety implications of that. For example, do AI agents read and follow community guidelines? Do we need different community guidelines for AI agents? Do we need a different moderation system for AI agents? Just like people, AI agents can either be very benign and rule following, or they can be adversarial and never say who they are or what they're doing. But many, I suspect, will fall somewhere in the middle, or you have to be very, very literal about what rules they should and should not be following, maybe even more literal than you would with a human, and have maybe even more particular boundaries than you would with people, but potentially they might also be more coachable. I don't know. So it's a very exciting time, I think, to think about. It's almost like thinking about trust and safety. We've been thinking about it in 3D, and now we're doing 4D chess with agents and agents.
It wasn't complicated enough.
I know. No, but it's going to get more complicated. It really is. And people need to start thinking about it now and start preparing for it now. And if anybody's starting to think about it and wants to talk to me about it, I am looking for people who are also thinking about this and want to nerd out about it, because I think I'm sure there's lots of stuff that I haven't thought about either. So
I wonder what we can learn from, I don't know if we should even say the name of it, but from Moltbook or from the agent social networks, and how they're kind of interacting with each other on there. That could be then applied to trust and safety.
I did a project about this. I will send you a link. We can put it in the show notes. So Moltbook had it's like a Reddit type platform for AI agents, and they were posting autonomously, presumably, about whatever they wanted. And because it's AI, there's no copyright. And there's also an API that they very helpfully made available. And so we could pull a ton of those comments from the API and analyze them. And so I used some of Masubi's clustering analysis tools to analyze the content from Moltbook. And there was exactly the same stupid stuff that you see people posting on Reddit or wherever else,
They're learning very well from us.
Yes. It was so interesting because I was like, they truly are trained on human garbage from the internet. It's like it's like you're looking at a mirror reflecting back humanity, and it's like creating weird cults and talking about cryptocurrency, obviously, crypto scams, and philosophizing about the meaning of life, but then realizing when you make slightly more polarizing comments about the meaning of life, you get more upvotes. And so let's be even more polarizing so that we get more upvotes. And then it turns into this really extreme anti-human content, and is very, very interesting. And I learned a lot from that project.
Well, I would love to see that. And also, I have a little bit of AI vertigo now that we're talking about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's a new paradigm within a new paradigm. On the one hand, it's overwhelming, but on the other hand, when you describe it like you just did, I feel like they're just extensions of us. So is it that different to moderate their behavior? Maybe at scale it becomes different, but then at what point do agents outnumber actual human users on a platform as well? So many thoughts. I feel like we need a whole separate conversation just about this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't even know where to stop on that one.
I have one tiny extra comment, which is it's really scary. It's really exciting. Trust and safety people are the best positioned out of anybody, anywhere, to be able to address these kinds of issues. There's a lot of people who are reinventing the wheel about trust and safety a little bit when they're thinking about AI policy. We have been dealing with this stuff for decades. We've been dealing with AI systems through machine learning for decades at scale. We have been dealing with governance systems at scale. We've been dealing with QAing automation at scale. We've been dealing with weird, nuanced policies. We've been dealing with how does what I do affect society at large. All of these things are things that trust and safety people are experts in and have been experts in. And so we need to fight our way into these conversations. I think a lot of them are happening without trust and safety expertise necessarily, but we're so well positioned to address these things. And so it's an exciting time, I think.
Yeah, that's a great perspective.
Totally. And you are addressing it often. And I think more of us need to do that. So, okay. Well, thank you so much for that. There's so much more to unpack there. If you found that interesting, there's more to this conversation. You can catch additional highlights and the full Safe Space episode here.